Hey guys, SPSA here, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. Now, if you've been around the channel long enough, you'll know that my Glass Ocean project was originally started on this world in Minecraft Wii U Edition before I transferred it to Bedrock Edition in 2021. And I know a lot of people have nostalgia for that point in Minecraft's history, the console edition era that went on from 2012 to 2019. Yeah, 2019. When PS4 console edition was discontinued. So I thought, why not just make the game look like console edition, make modern day Bedrock edition look like console edition. And with the help of a few resource packs and add-ons, which we will get to, I have done that. Now, this will also kind of double as a world tour after I show off the various mods and what they're capable of. So stay tuned for that. And I'll meet you guys on the main menu where I will show you the mods and how they work / how to activate them. So let's cut to that. Alrighty, so I have removed all of my packs just so we can have a clean slate and I can show off everything. So here is the default Minecraft Bedrock Edition title screen that we will be soon changing. Now there's one thing of note for one of these packs, which I'll get to and I'll actually show it off once we get there. The UI pack I use hasn't been properly updated to 1.20.62 yet, so there might be a few things broken. I know one of the things is the sign UI, and the smithing table UI will be the pre 1.20 smithing table UI instead of the correct 1.20 smithing table UI. So that's just a couple things to keep in mind moving forward. But if you don't care about that, let's jump in. So of course you go into settings and scroll down to your global resources. I will have links to all of these resource packs in the description. So the first one is this one, VDX4JD UI, which is the UI pack. You'll see what that does here in a minute, and that's the one you want to activate first. Now, since we're going for the classic look, not the PS4 console edition look, you're going to want to click this gear and do with classic GUI, and this will basically, when you reach the main menu, or when you reach the world menu, it'll show the classic Minecraft texture pack icon instead of the modern one. So, yeah, if you do want to replicate Legacy PS4 edition, which I will show off too, you're gonna want to go with this one with modern GUI textures, but right now we're just gonna go with classic GUI. I'll show off replicating PS4, but right now I'm showing off replicating Wii U because that's what I grew up with. So next pack is the Minecraft Classic Texture Pack. This is the only one that won't have a link in the description because you get this from the marketplace. So you want to activate that. That is the next thing. Now, you could stop there, but my OCD wouldn't let it go if I just left it here, so I recommend activating this, the Classic Textures Fix Pack. And what this... Whoops. Okay. Let's try that again. Okay, activate. There we go. The Classic Textures Fix Pack And what this does is it applies classic textures to the post 1.14 or the 1.14 and beyond features. So that's nice. Now there are a few options. You have default, max, Java, or aquatic, mix 3, mix 2, and mix 1. The best results are max, so we're going to go with that. I haven't really messed around with the other ones, but max is the one I usually use, so we're going to use that one. Now, the main thing you want to do is... Now, the main pack, the meat and potatoes of this is this pack, console aspects. Now, depending on what platform you're on, there are 2 packs, performance for mobile and lower end devices, and fidelity for higher end devices like PCs and consoles. Well, consoles that can support add-ons like Xbox, and I'm pretty sure that's the only one. But anyway, this is the meat and potatoes. You're going to want to activate this one, and if you're going with the classic textures, you're going to want to tick over to this resolution classic textures, and that'll just bring back more classic components. Now, you could stop here, and I'll actually show off what that looks like. You could stop here. This is pretty much the essentials. For the most part, you could stop here, but I want to, and it says Minecraft Bedrock Edition, and we're going to change that. Now, how do you change that? Well, there is another pack. Whoops, not that. Okay, there is another pack you want to select, and that is controller tooltip selector. And what this will allow you to do is change the little controller tooltips that pop up when you use a controller, like I'm using a PS4 controller, but it works for Switch or Xbox or whatever generic ass controller you want to hook up to your device. And you'll see that the first option is automatic legacy, and what that will do. And what that does is it will just default to whatever controller you have, or the tooltips will default to whatever controller you have connected. So in my case, I have a PS4 controller connected, so it'll just, the tooltips will default to the whatever controller you have connected. So if you have a PS4 controller connected, it'll show the PS4 tips. If you have a Xbox controller connected, it'll show the Xbox tips, and if you have a Switch controller connected, it'll show the Switch tips. So that's cool, but that's not what we're here to see. We're here to see the other options that this pack has, and I'll show off all of them. Maybe this won't be a world tour, maybe I'll do that next, but I want to show off this pack in its entirety and what it can do. So next option is generic, and that basically gives you generic tooltips, so it's not tied to any specific controller. So if you want that, that's there for you. Yeah, so it looks like that. So the... Okay. So the next option is Xbox One Legacy. And what this does is basically exactly what it sounds like. It gives you the Legacy Console Edition tooltips. Or it gives you the Legacy Xbox One Edition tooltips. So Yeah, it looks like this, and yeah, I currently have my controls inverted, so B is select and A is back, but normally that would be correct. So next we have, sorry about the background noise, but we have Minecraft Xbox 360 edition after TU53, and this basically is the Xbox 360 tooltips after TU53, which I believe that was just a bug fix update for Xbox edition, because TU69 was the last full Xbox One edition update. But as you can see, there are the classic Xbox 360 edition tooltips and the Xbox 360 edition title. I forgot to show that off for Xbox One edition, but that is the same. That'll do the same as well for that one. So next we have Xbox 360 before TU53. So what this does is give you the the tooltips from before TU53, and as far as the buttons go, they're exactly the same. The only thing that changes is, actually no, they are different. They are different, but you can see the classic Minecraft Xbox 360 edition title before it was changed to be unified with the rest of the console editions. It was it was this, and then after TU53 it was unified to, or it was changed to match the rest of the console editions. So next we have PlayStation 4 Legacy, and that does exactly what it sounds like. It adds, or it changes it to the PS4 tooltips, which is fitting considering I'm using a PS4 controller, but that's not the tooltip set I go with. We'll get to that. Next we have PlayStation 3. Which it'll load, yeah. Which looks like this, PS3 edition. And then next is PS Vita, which you'd think would be the exact same as PS4, but no, because the PS Vita actually had white buttons instead of the colored ones. So this changes it to reflect that, which I think is really cool. So next we have, I actually have no idea. We're about to find out together. Next we have PlayStation TV DualShock 4. So this is what would happen if you had a, or these are the tooltips you'd get on PS Vita edition if you had a, or if you had it in a PlayStation TV with a DualShock 4 hooked up. And yeah, it's the exact same, except the PS Vita edition title is up there. And then we have, I believe next is PlayStation TV with a DualShock 3. Yes, it is. So here's what that looks like. And then we have Nintendo Switch Legacy Edition. Which, of course, is Legacy Console Edition on Nintendo Switch's tooltips. Which, yeah, look like this, and you have the Nintendo Switch Edition title. Next up is 3DS. Yes, even the new Nintendo 3DS edition of Minecraft. Its tooltips are included as well. So there is that. And then next we have, I believe Wii U is next. Wii U with the gamepad, yes. And this is my preferred tooltip setup because, of course, I am trying to replicate Wii U edition, which is, of course, the version I played the most before getting a Switch and Bedrock edition. Next is Wii U with a Pro controller. Which looks like that. Pretty much the same, but you know. Next up is Wii U with a Classic Controller Pro hooked up. So you get lowercase letters with for the buttons and stuff, because the Classic Controller Pro is quirky like that. Yeah. That's kind of cool, I suppose. And then next we have oops, wrong thing. Okay. Next we have generic Bedrock edition, which I think these are the same as, oh no, the other ones were generic Legacy. These are generic Bedrock, so yeah. You have that, which, yeah, okay. And then next we have Xbox One Bedrock Edition. The tooltips that appear on Bedrock Edition on Xbox One, or if you have an Xbox One controller hooked up to your device of choice. Next, I think, is Switch Bedrock. No, PlayStation 4 Bedrock. So you have these buttons if you're playing on Bedrock Edition on PS4, or if you have a PS4 controller hooked up to your device of choice. We're almost to the end here. This will probably end up being a part 2. PS4 unused. These were in the files for the game long before Bedrock Edition launched on PS4 in 2019, so yeah, and not really a fan. And then we have Nintendo Switch Bedrock Edition. So this is, of course, the buttons you get when you play on Bedrock Edition on Nintendo Switch. And if you have a Nintendo Switch controller hooked up to your device of choice. So next, we have a couple odd ones. We have Windows 10 Edition Beta before 1.2. Which look like that. They're basically just the Xbox buttons, but jankier. Whoops. I did not mean to deactivate it. There we go. Okay, so next we have... we gotta scroll all the way back through them. Okay, next we have Windows 10 Edition Beta. Just Beta. Which looks like this. Again, they're just the Xbox buttons, but jankier. Now, if you've seen my Evolution series, you might have seen these already, but we have Pocket Edition before 1.2. Because I briefly played on Pocket Edition before 1.2 during the Evolution series, which I will be posting the rest, or re-uploading the rest of those onto the main channel eventually. But yeah, here we have Pocket Edition with the gray buttons. And I may do a video because there's also a UI pack for Pocket Edition. So I may do a video on that too. And finally, we have Kindle Fire Edition, and this will be the final one for part one of this little two-part mini thingy. So here is the Kindle Fire Edition before 1.2. And that's the only thing that changes, it's just Fire TV Edition. So that is it for this part. Next part, we will go over some of the things that console aspects does. So I will see you guys then. Bye. Alright, hey guys, it's PSA here, and this is part 2 of my Bedrock to console video. In this part, I'm going to show off a couple things. First up is another thing I forgot in the last video, and that is Legacy Panorama Selector. And what this does is it adds all of the menu panoramas from Minecraft Console Edition. And I will be showing them all off for you right now. So the first one we have is TU69, which is the one we've been looking at. But after that we have TU46, which is this one. This one is the default panorama for Wii U Edition, or not Wii U Edition, for Nintendo Switch and Xbox One Edition, because they did not get TU69. So, yeah. Next up is TU31. This is basically console edition's equivalent of 1.7. So that looks like this. And we're going to try to be a bit quicker this time. So the next one is TU19. I want to say this is kind of like console or Java Edition's or the console edition version of Java Edition's 1.5 or 1.6 update, around that ballpark. But yeah, here it is. Not bad. Okay. Next up is TU14. I think this is console edition's equivalent to the 1.4 or 1.5 update. And it looks like this. And then we have TU9, which I don't know, but here we have TU9, which looks like that. TU5, I think is basically beta 1.8 for console edition, but it looks like this. And then we have TU1, the first ever Minecraft console edition panorama. And this was basically Minecraft beta 1.6 for console edition. Anyway, that's not all, because not only do we have those, but we also have the nighttime variants of all of them. So here is the nighttime variant of the TU69 panorama. Then we have the nighttime version of the TU46 panorama, which looks like this. And then we have the nighttime version of the TU31 panorama. Then we have the nighttime version of the TU19 panorama, which looks like this. And then we have the nighttime version of the TU14 panorama, which looks like that. The nighttime version of the TU9 panorama, which looks like this. Cool. Then the nighttime version of the TU5 panorama. Yeah, so there is that one. Oops. Okay. Then we have TU1. Now you'll notice there was one more option, which we will get to here in a second, but here is the TU1 panorama. And then there's one more. The Xbox 360 edition pre-release panorama. There's no night variant because I don't think it had one, but here it is. Ain't that neat? But yeah, that is it for this resource pack. I'm actually going to deactivate it entirely because I am going for the current Minecraft Wii U edition look. And I'll show you after we hop in and talk about console aspects a little bit. Alright, so actually before we jump in, I'm going to disable console aspects for a moment so we can take a look at what the game's graphics normally look like. So here we are. I've disabled console aspects so you can see what the game normally looks like, although I didn't disable the UI pack, so we have stuff like this. But I want to take a look at some of the changes that the Classic Fix Pack has made. So, first change it has made is given the other woods, mainly cherry and mangrove, the classic texture. So yeah, there's that. It's also done that with stuff like the crimson and warped nylium, so those are now looking the way they should with the classic textures. No 1.21 stuff has changed. And here's what I was talking about with these signs. Yeah, their UI just goes away immediately, which is odd. So yeah, that's something you're gonna have to put up with. Oh, and all the armor has changed as well. So, and netherite armor is now, its icon is now in line with the classic textures. Same with the swords, axes, pickaxes, shovels, and the hoe. Those have all been changed. Potions, they're actually different because their icons were updated in 1.20, so and console aspects will fix that, so we'll get to that. But yeah, this just changes certain things to be more, or certain modern textures to be more like the classic ones. Like, I didn't even know it did it with calcite, but here's calcite. Oh, and I mentioned the woods have changed. Well, the nether woods have changed as well, and I'm assuming their logs have changed as well. I know. I don't think these have changed very much. Here's the cherry log, other than the inside. So here's the mangrove log. Here's the cherry log. Here's the crimson stem, and here's the warped stem. I don't think those have changed much. So yeah, that's what this pack does. Now I'm going to add console aspects to it and show that off, and then show a couple more things you can do with it, including throwing console edition back to TU1, because yep, I can do that too, with an additional pack that I will provide in the description of this video like all the other ones. So I will be right back. Right, so what does console aspects do? Well, if you're paying close attention, you will notice that the graphics have gotten a lot brighter. This is to match the gamma settings on console edition, and I think it does a pretty good job at replicating that effect. And another thing it does is change / remove certain sounds. The best example of this is planting crops. So let me just grab a hoe and some seeds real quick. And I will show that off. Yeah, so you'll see no crop planting sounds. Those were implemented in, I believe, 1.16. Of course, console edition never got 1.16, so it never got the crop planting sounds. And I think it also, if I can find some bone meal real quick. There's some. Yep, it removes that sound as well. Because that was another sound that was added in 1.16, and since console edition never got 1.16, it never got the new bone meal sound, so that's neat. And there are more tweaks and stuff that Console Aspects adds. For instance, beds. I'm just gonna grab a few of the colors. There we go. Beds now match their Console Edition equivalents. Now, one thing that I thought was always funny in Console Edition is that before it would change to its color, it would briefly default to the red bed. I don't think the dev will actually implement this, but that would just be a funny, like, console parody thing to include. Just have it for a split second default to the red bed texture before switching to its proper color. But yeah, the beds now match Console Edition, so that's pretty neat. And that's pretty much all I wanted to cover on that front, but there are a lot more things that you can do with Console Aspects, and another pack that I'm going to cover in this video. So, yeah. Alrighty, here we are back on the Resource Packs menu, and first up, we are going to remove Classic Textures Fix and the Classic Texture Pack, because we aren't going to need it at the moment, and we are going to replace it with the Classic Craft Resource Pack and the Classic Craft, not that, the Classic Craft Classic add-on, and this will just change some textures back to the classic ones that Classic Craft changes itself, and you'll see what I mean. I'll probably have to make a third part for this, but yeah, we're gonna replicate Xbox 360 Edition TU1. So to sell that, we are going to change the tooltips and add the correct panorama. So there we go. And TU1 was, of course, based on Minecraft Beta 1.6, so I have a texture pack that brings back the beta textures, so we're gonna take a look at that right now. We are in a world with Classic Craft applied, and basically what Classic Craft does is bring back the old beta textures for pretty much every block, and there are a few cool things it does, like change the it changes these, so the blast furnace looks more beta-y, and whoops, the smoker does too, so that is awesome. And yeah, you're gonna want to keep classic set for console aspects for this. The cartography workbench, that's funny, because it's, yeah, that's how it was in beta, so that's cool. I mean, it changes some things like the bell, so that's cool. It changes the archaeology brush and the spyglass, so that's pretty neat. Huh. Another right block. Does it change the armor to reflect that too? Let's see. Not really, but it does change its texture. So that's neat. I believe it also changes stuff like scaffolding. Tiny bit. It also changes some of the sounds. Let's see, does it change the bamboo? Oh, it does change bamboo. Bamboo, Jesus, bamboo, there. Yeah, so Classic Craft just gives it a more beta-y feel. So if you want to replicate Xbox 360 TU1, you can do that, but there are a couple other options, so let's explain a few of the options. So we have default Classic Craft, which is what I just showed you. Then we have emeralds over rubies, which does exactly what it sounds like. It reverts the replacement of rubies with emeralds. Then we have alpha alternatives, which I will show off right now. Here's the alpha replacement. It's kind of busted because the this is a problem. Now I could probably whip up a pack in MCAM to fix it. I don't feel like it. But yeah, basically it makes all the textures have more of an alpha feel instead of a beta one. So that's pretty neat. So now we'll move on to the next option. Okay, so I'm going to rapid fire these next couple because they don't really need that much of an explanation because they pretty much explain themselves. The next one is original modded sandstone, and basically this gives sandstone the texture from the mod that added sandstone before the actual game did. So yeah, there's that. And then we have villagers over pigmen. It pretty much just reverts the pigmen villagers back into villagers. Then we have bloody zombie pigs, which makes the blood on the zombie pigman texture red instead of green. So yeah, that's it for Classic Craft. Now there are a couple things I want to go over with console aspects, so we are going to do that next. And to do that, we need to remove Classic Craft. Not cutting for this because this isn't going to take very long. There are two other options in a console aspect that I want to talk about. First up is default textures, and this will give us the default textures from PS4 edition. Specifically TU70 or Village and Pillage PS4 edition. Then we have updated textures, and this will pretty much give you all of the modern Minecraft stuff. So the stuff they've added from 1.16 onward. You will have it all available for you if you choose the updated textures option. And compatibility mode is just if you want the mode, or if you have another texture pack that you're using. Results vary, but yeah. So that is pretty much it for this consolification. I'm going to revert all my settings back to the way they were because I'm planning on filming a world tour after this. And we'll wrap this up. Alrighty guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that little two-parter where I show off how I converted Bedrock Edition to Console Edition, plus some extra goodies sprinkled in for those of you who want to customize your experience further. Of course, I will have links to all the mods used in this video in the description. But yeah, with that said, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! SPSA here, and welcome back to another Minecraft video. Today, we have part 3, the hopefully finale part to my Making Bedrock into Console Edition mini series / tutorial thing that I did a couple of months ago, but some updates have been made, and I've also found some new things. Plus, I want to touch upon some stuff that I didn't cover in the last 2 of these. So, yes, so without further ado, let's jump right into that. Starting with the updates. First of all, VDX 4JD UI has been updated, so I'm just gonna look at these updates in isolation. So here is the updates for 4JD UI, and it's 2 major ones. The first one is signs now work correctly. So if you remember in my previous making Bedrock into console videos, the signs didn't work right. Well, now they do. And the smithing table UI has been upgraded to the 1.20 smithing table UI, so you can now trim your armor with the console edition style UI if you want. So those are the 2 major updates, and those are the 2 things that majorly needed updating. So I am glad that's out of the way. And again, just like the other 2 videos, I will leave links to all of the packs mentioned in this video. Well, almost all of them. There is one where I can't find a link for the life of me. So almost all of the packs mentioned will have links in the description. So let's take a look at the console aspects updates, although those are mainly under the hood changes, so those won't be, I won't really be showing off any real, actual changes, but, there's been under the hood updates to accommodate the, armored pause drop, so, yeah, that's a thing. So even though I can't actually show off any actual changes to console aspects, since most of them are under the hood changes and most of them affect the fidelity version, and unfortunately I can't use fidelity because I'm on a phone, so yeah, but I do want to cover all the various tweakable options 4JD has, starting with the default textures, which do more than it sounds like it does. It doesn't just give you the default Bedrock textures, it actually gives you the default textures from PS4 edition of Legacy Console. So, yeah, you can see signs, they're still like this because the console edition never got the updated sign texture, so signs are just this. And the other I can't easily clear my inventory. I'm gonna turn that on real quick, which I believe you can do in controls. Yeah, clear hotbar. There we go. So now we have that. Now the other 2 things that have changed when you have just default textures on is first the grass block, and this is a very simple change. if I can find the dang grass block, there it is. This is a very simple change. It just reverts it to the classic grass texture, because for some reason PS4 edition never got the classic graph, or the PS4 edition never received the updated Bedrock grass texture. So for whatever reason, probably because it was based off of an earlier version of Bedrock Edition's Village and Pillage updates. So yeah, that wasn't finalized. And then the other notable thing, is emeralds. What they look like. What do they look like? If I can find emeralds, I think they're in the item category. There, I'm just yeah, the emeralds, they take on the console edition emerald texture, which fun fact, if you want this just on its own without having to download console aspects, there's a Bedrock Tweaks pack for it. So go to Bedrock Tweaks if you want just the console edition emerald texture for whatever reason. And I believe this extends to snowballs, because those snowballs were slightly different in PS4 edition as well. Yeah. We'll have to take a look at that when we look at just the default Bedrock textures. And because the the emerald texture has changed, so has the block of emerald texture, so it's a much brighter green. Yeah. So those are all the changes that are applied if you just whack on default textures for console aspects. Next up, we are going to take a look at the next option. And that next option is classic textures, and you will need at least the Minecraft Classic Texture Pack, which you can, of course, find in the marketplace. But if you want to elevate this for a true 100% classic Minecraft experience, then choose this, and I'd recommend setting it to Ultimate, but there are different options depending on what you want, and I'll maybe make a separate video on Classic Textures Fix to go over what all those options do, but this is all about console aspects. So yeah, next we have the classic textures, and 4JD actually has an option here as well. And what that option does is basically, if you go into the load world menu, which I have to get to, okay, it changes the little pack icon in the corner over there to the Bedrock edition, or to the classic texture pack one. And I'm also going to fit the theme a little bit better, and I will have this for the remainder of the video. I am going to do this, since I have, where is, yeah, controller tooltip selector. I'm going to just select Xbox 360 after TU53, because that is what I usually have for this particular configuration of console aspects. So, and this is my preferred configuration of console aspects, actually. So, yeah, and basically what it does is pretty self-explanatory. It gives you the classic Minecraft textures before 1.14, so if you don't vibe with the classic textures, or if you don't vibe with the modern textures for whatever reason, then you can do this and
stuff like suspicious sand has been classified. Stuff like suspicious sand and suspicious gravel from 1.20 have been given the classic treatment thanks to classic textures fix and yeah, so that's pretty much what this does. So let's move on to the next option. So the next option will require us to deactivate our classic packs again. And we'll set it to default legacy, what it defaults to when you activate console tooltips for this, because this is updated textures, and what this does is give you all the, it's basically just Bedrock's default textures. So if you want to live in an alternate universe where, even the, that's pretty neat, even the, the title has been updated to, match Java's, which is pretty dang cool. But this is for those of you who want to live in an alternate timeline where Minecraft Bedrock Edition never existed and Console Edition just kept on getting updates, so it does exactly what it sounds like. It trims the fat and gives you the default textures. Nothing more, nothing less. Just default textures. And the final setting is compatibility mode. And what this does is gives your packs, or gives other packs compatibility with console aspects, although it's still kind of janky, as you can see here. Hope Agent Mindstorm fixes that, but it's janky, but if you want to play with other packs in conjunction with console aspects, that option is absolutely open to you. So, yeah, that is pretty much it for that, but I do want to show off one more thing real quick before I sign off, so I will do that. Now, this final pack doesn't necessarily need classic textures, but it benefits from it. And the last pack is the only one I can't really provide a download link for, since Agent Mindstorm only releases this pack on Twitter. So if you really want it, just go poke around on Twitter for a little bit. That's how I found it. But it is the old water pack, and it does pretty much what it sounds like. Downgrades the water from the 1.13 water, so even though I think that's pretty self-explanatory, let's take a look at that, shall we? And yeah, here it is. Classic water. Cool. Now I am going to do one last thing before I sign off, and you'll see what it is when I get to it. So the last thing I have to show off here is this, the tutorial world. This is the very first one, the Minecraft TU1 tutorial world. And I'll show it off a little bit so you'll get the idea. Here is the little village, but yeah. I will leave links to where you can download this, and my controller drifts, yeah, but whatever. I will leave links to where you can download this in the description. So we have one more tutorial world that I'm using as an example. So we have the very first tutorial world, but yep, we also have the very last
Minecraft Console Edition tutorial world, the TU69. Nice. Tutorial world. And I'm just going to go over here and stand in front of the Minecraft logo so we can end off this video. Need fireworks. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please like, comment, and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did. And of course, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!